Heartwarming moment, little girl drives millionaire CEO to safety after he fainted in his car. Emma was your everyday 8-year-old with an extraordinary dream. Living in a small suburban community, she aspired to be a veterinarian, a calling fueled by her love for animals and a deep understanding of hardship. Her mother worked 2 jobs, her brow furrowed with worry, while her father, a quiet veteran, sought refuge in woodcraft, hand-carving toys and furniture in their cluttered garage. But one sunny afternoon, as Emma walked home from school, the world outside became a canvas for the unexpected. The main intersection buzzed with life, high-end shops glittering alongside local eateries. Suddenly, Emma's wide eyes caught something. Tom, the millionaire CEO, known for his high-tech marvels but equally for his cold demeanor, was slumped over in the driver's seat of his luxury car, unconscious. Panic ricocheted through the crowd as onlookers pulled out their phones, ready to capture the drama instead of helping. Emma's heart raced. She felt an urge deep within her, a tug in her chest that wouldn't let go. She couldn't just stand there. Ignoring the risk, she climbed into the driver's seat. The steering wheel felt heavy in her small hands, but her determination shone, brighter than the leather seats surrounding her. The car jolted to life, and she pressed the gas, maneuvering into the congested street with a surprising calmness. This wasn't just driving, it was a vivid exploration of contrasts. Tom's wealth was palpable, the tech gadgets all around her a testament to his success, while her life was defined by careful budgeting and once-dreamed aspirations. The silence in the car was deafening, filled only with the humming of the engine and Emma's quickened breaths. As Tom stirred, confusion clouded his eyes. When he registered Emma's presence, surprise flickered across his face. Who was this brave girl gripping the wheel? "Hang on. I promise I'll get you to a hospital," Emma shouted, her voice youthful yet steady. She turned to him, sharing pieces of her life. They raced past the locals, her talking becoming a lifeline. "I want to be a vet. My dad carves toys, and my mom works so hard." Each word was a thread weaving their lives together, bridging the gap of wealth and upbringing. As they paused at a red light, a passerby shouted, "What in the world? A kid driving a billionaire?" Their judgment stung like a slap in the face. But rather than retreating, Tom felt a spark of recognition in her fearless spirit. Amidst his countless achievements, he realized he had often felt more alone than not, lost in expectations. With newfound camaraderie forming, Tom began to open up about his own burdens, the pressure of being a CEO, expectations weighing on his shoulders like lead. Their connection flickered like hope, illuminated by shared dreams and struggles. Just as Tom's story unraveled, a siren blared behind them, shattering the moment. 2 police officers approached, eyes startled yet filled with concern. Emma's heart raced, clutching the steering wheel tighter, unsure how to explain their bizarre adventure. Would Tom own up to the truth? Would he acknowledge the bond they unknowingly created amidst chaos? The air crackled with tension, leaving both Emma and Tom grappling with their newly discovered relationship and the unfolding drama of their community. What awaited them next felt as uncertain as the future itself, yet brighter than before. The siren's wail seemed to reverberate in Emma's chest like an unsteady drumbeat. The police car pulled alongside them, lights flashing a spectrum of red and blue that danced on the reflective surface of Tom's luxury vehicle. Emma's mind raced, full of questions. Should she let go of the wheel to explain? What if the officers didn't believe them? Tom, still shaken, took a deep breath and leaned closer to Emma, his voice low and calm. "Emma, just trust me. When they ask, I'll tell them the truth." The officers stepped out, their expressions a mixture of confusion and concern. One approached Emma's side while the other approached Tom's. "What is going on here?" the officer asked, glancing between the young girl and the fainted CEO. I was driving him to the hospital. He needed help." Emma's words tumbled out in a rush, fueled by urgency. She felt a glimmer of determination surge through her. She wasn't just a girl, she was a hero in her own right. Tom regained some composure and leaned forward, making eye contact with the officer. "I'm fine now. I just fainted. She helped me." His voice had grown firmer, a reflection of his newfound appreciation for Emma. The officer nodded, looking Emma up and down, and saw not just a girl but a beacon of courage. "And how old are you, kid?" 8. "But I can drive," she insisted proudly, her chest puffing up as she heard the words escape her mouth. The officer raised an eyebrow but couldn't help the corner of his mouth from twitching into a smile. "You're quite something, Emma. But I think we need to get this sorted out." He nodded, signaling to his partner to check Tom's vitals. As the other officer leaned in, Emma turned to Tom, her eyes wide with eagerness, as if she was waiting for him to join her in a celebration. "You really think they'll understand?" she asked, her small hands still gripping the wheel. "I think they will," Tom replied, warmth creeping into his voice. "You saved my life. Not just today but maybe even in ways I can't yet see." The officers conferred briefly, their serious expressions softening as they realized the story behind this unconventional rescue. Emma took a deep breath, her heart settling as she watched Tom's face ease. The tension gave way to a shared smile, and it felt like a slice of hope edging through the chaos. "Let's just make sure you get checked out. Can you both step out for me?" one officer said gently, motioning for them to exit the car. Emma hopped out and turned to Tom, her small frame dwarfed by the towering figures of the officers. "What happens now?" Her voice was soft, touched with both excitement and trepidation. She was a child confronting a new world. "I think this is just the beginning," Tom said. "I have a lot to think about. About work, and maybe even about life, too." As the officers began asking questions, Emma realized something profound. This moment was about far more than one boy's courage or one girl's bravery. It was a bridge bridging worlds, the rich and the struggling, the confident and the timid. For once, they were both exactly what the other needed. Suddenly, Tom's phone buzzed in the car, startling them both. He turned toward the vehicle, a frown painting his brow. "It's my assistant, they've been calling me non-stop today." "Must be important," Emma said, her curiosity piqued. Her own dreams danced in the back of her mind, urging her to believe in possibility. "It is. But not as important as this moment right here." He smiled at her again, a connection building stronger than either could have anticipated. At that moment, the world around them melted away. The bustling street, the gawking onlookers, even the police officers became distant echoes as both young and old faced what really mattered. What could a young girl and a powerful CEO truly learn from each other? As they both stood, feelings of uncertainty giving rise to a flicker of hope, the story between them began to unfurl in ways neither could predict. Would this bond spark something greater than themselves? A new adventure awaited one neither Emma nor Tom could have imagined. With the sun beginning to dip below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the chaotic scene, Emma felt a rush of adrenaline pulse through her body. She looked at the officers, the previous tension now replaced with a shared understanding of the moment they had just witnessed. They hadn't just stood by, they had stepped into a moment of clarity. "Emma," one of the officers said, his voice steady. "We need to get you both taken care of. But can you tell me how you ended up behind the wheel?" Emma took a deep breath, knowing it was time to share her story. "Well, I saw Mr. Bennett slumped over in his seat. It was scary. I thought he was hurt. So, I climbed in," and she paused, squeezing her eyes shut for a brief moment. "I drove. Just like in my dad's car. I used to watch him." The first officer nodded along thoughtfully. "Smart thinking, kid." Tom, standing beside her, felt a swell of pride. She's not just smart, she's brave. Her quick thinking saved me today. I owe my life to her. Their exchange caught the attention of onlookers who had gathered with wildfire curiosity. Murmurs of respect and admiration rippled through the crowd. They couldn't help but volunteer bits of encouragement as if sharing in the honor of the moment. "Good job, little lady. That's real courage." Emma felt the words wash over her, warming her more than any sunbeam ever could. She couldn't help but blush, a mixture of embarrassment and pride swelling within. In that instant, she learned that heroism wasn't about age or status. It was about the choices we make when faced with a challenge. The warmth of community surrounded them. Tom noticed how the chatter around him changed from idle gossip to shouts of excitement. He realized he was witnessing something unique. People were coming together, inspired by the strange yet beautiful unfolding of this simple moment. "Let's get you both checked out, okay?" The second officer approached, clipboard in hand. "No more heroics for today." "I understand," Emma said, though she couldn't suppress a grin. The thought of being a hero felt so powerful. Walking away from the confusion of flashing lights and concerned voices, Emma and Tom headed toward the waiting ambulance. Tom felt lighter. The responsibility of the business world weighed so heavily on him that he often forgot the simple joys of life. But here was Emma, reminding him not just to see but to savor. "Emma," he ventured as they turned onto the ambulance ramp. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Emma scrunched her nose in thought. "A hero like you." Tom chuckled, surprised by her response. "I think you already are one." Their continuing dialogue in the ambulance brought a sense of ease. Tom shared stories of his own childhood dreams while Emma listened with rapt attention, her imagination kindling with every word. But just as the atmosphere became light-hearted, the reality of Tom's life snapped back into focus with another buzz from his phone echoing in the silence. It was his assistant again. "Can I?" He hesitated, glancing at Emma. The thought of disclosing his corporate issues loomed over the fun they had just engaged in. "Sure." Emma squeaked, her wide eyes inviting him to open up. Tom sighed, feeling the weight of his world clashing with the lightness Emma brought. But would sharing his burdens in that moment push them closer or send them drifting apart? "Okay, but what if I told you?" How could he explain the overwhelming repercussions of his world? Would revealing too much fracture their budding friendship? As he began to speak, the soft sirens pierced the air once more, signaling not just the end of the chaos but the beginning of an uncharted journey that lay ahead. Could he find a way to balance his heavy responsibilities with the light Emma had shed on his reality? The uncertainty of what lay beyond the horizon lingered, promising challenges and surprises. Would their unexpected connection endure once life returned to normal? The ambulance doors closed with a gentle thud, sealing them in a cocoon of quiet. Emma tucked a stray strand of hair behind her ear, her excitement mingling with a hint of apprehension. This was all so new and strange. The walls were painted in sterile white, and the faint beeping of machines filled the air, creating a rhythm that felt both comforting and eerie. "Mr. Bennett," Emma started, her small voice breaking the silence, "what's the deal with all those people out there?" She pointed out the window where a small crowd still loitered, a buzz of excitement filling the air. Tom took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment sink in. "They're curious, Emma. People love stories, especially when they see something extraordinary," he replied, a slight smile creeping on his face despite the turmoil swirling within him. "They want to know you. They want to know how a little girl saved the day." Emma beamed at the thought. "It's kind of cool, isn't it?" "Yeah, it really is," he said, gazing at her with admiration. Her innocence and bravery made him realize how far he had strayed from his childhood dreams. But it's not just about the spotlight. It's about what you did. You acted when it mattered. The ambulance jolted as it hit a bump in the road, and Emma's small fingers instinctively clenched the edge of the seat. Her wide eyes were steady as she looked up at Tom. "But what happened to you? Why did you faint?" Tom hesitated. He wanted to shield her from the burdens of adulthood, yet something in her gaze urged him to be honest. "I've been really stressed at work. Lots of pressure, you know. Sometimes, it feels like I'm carrying the weight of the world." Emma furrowed her brow, processing his words. Stressed? Like when you have too much homework? A laugh escaped Tom at her innocent comparison. Exactly. It can feel heavy, and if you're not careful, it can catch up to you. Her small voice became serious. But you're not alone, Mr. Bennet. Sometimes, talking helps, right? He let her words wash over him. She was right, he had always believed that, yet he rarely practiced it. You might be onto something there, Emma. Thank you for reminding me. They arrived at the hospital, the bright lights of the emergency entrance flooding the ambulance. As the doors swung open, Tom saw the faces of the paramedics mix with the concerned expressions of the waiting medical team. It felt overwhelming, but Emma's presence steadied him. As they began to carefully maneuver Tom on a stretcher, Emma clung tightly to his hand, unwilling to let go. I'm not leaving you, Mr. Bennet. I'm your hero, remember? Tom chuckled softly, looking down at her. And I'm grateful for my little hero. You'll always be a part of this story, you know. What's next for us? Emma asked, her curiosity palpable. He thought about it. They were two souls connected by an unexpected event, but what did that mean moving forward? I think we need to figure that out together. Just then, a doctor approached with a clipboard, a professional demeanor cutting through the emotional thread that hung between them. Mr. Bennet, she began, flipping through the pages, we need to run some tests. I hope you can stay calm. Tom looked at Emma, a spark igniting in his chest. Would they confront the highs and lows of their lives together? The uncertainty of it left him hopeful yet anxious. Okay, he said, but just so you know, the next great adventure starts now. Emma squeezed his hand tighter, her expression unwavering. I'm ready. Are you? And in that moment, amidst the chaos of hospital lights and medical jargon, Tom felt that maybe, just maybe, they could navigate their worlds together. But just as the doctor was about to ask more questions, a familiar face slipped through the chaos, someone entirely uninvited but undeniably linked to Tom's corporate life. What could that surprise mean for their future? Tom's heart sank as he recognized the figure weaving through the bustling medical staff. It was Martin Forsyth, the ruthless CEO of the company he worked for. The man's reputation preceded him, known for his sharp tongue and cutthroat business tactics. As he approached, that familiar sense of dread washed over Tom. Tom! Thank goodness you're okay. Martin exclaimed, forcing a smile. What happened back there? He glanced at Emma, his gaze flickering with a mix of curiosity and doubt. The little girl clinging to Tom's hand was not the image of bravery he expected from a hero's story. Emma, unfazed by Martin's imposing presence, looked up at Tom and then back at the executive. Mr. Bennet fainted. But I saved him. Her eyes sparkled with pride as if she'd just met a superhero. Martin chuckled, cutting through the tension. You're a little dynamo, aren't you? But we need to focus on getting Tom back to fighting shape. Tom felt a surge of protective instinct as he braced for the inevitable questions. I appreciate your concern, Martin, but I'm fine. Just overwhelmed. Overwhelmed? Martin repeated, skepticism thick in his voice. In my experience, that's a warning sign. We can't afford that kind of weakness around here. There it was. The words hung in the air, and Tom felt his resolve waver. What kind of man would he be if he let this moment define him? He glanced at Emma, who looked distinctly uncomfortable with the executive's words. Mr. Forsyth, she piped up, her little voice steady but firm, sometimes people just need a break. Right, Mr. Bennet? A slow smile crept across Tom's face. Exactly. Martin blinked, surprised by Emma's boldness. Well, if you say so. But let us not forget you have a career at stake, Tom. He turned away, dismissing both Tom and Emma with a wave as he disappeared into the hospital corridors, leaving a cloud of tension behind. Emma's small hand squeezed his tighter, her eyes wide. You don't have to listen to him, right? Tom sighed, the weight of frustration lifting momentarily as he looked down at her. You're right. I guess I just need to remember that it's not just about work. I want to be more. He paused, searching for the right word, human. And thank you for helping me see that. A nurse entered, clipboard in hand, breaking the moment. Mr. Bennett, we're ready for some tests now. Fear flickered in Emma's eyes. Wait. Can I go with him? The nurse smiled warmly, her demeanor softening the room. Of course, if it's okay with Mr. Bennett. You can help keep him calm. That's my job. Emma grinned, her little bravery shining once more. As they moved through the sterile hallways, Tom felt a rush of gratitude for Emma. Perhaps she was more than just a little girl he had met by chance. They were allies now, bound by their unexpected journey, and he was beginning to understand what that really meant. The hospital buzzed around them, nurses chatting, the distant sound of machinery, snippets of laughter and cries from other rooms. As they approached the testing area, Tom felt a strange sense of excitement bubbling inside. He was stepping into a new chapter in his life. But what would that chapter look like? Would he truly be able to find balance between his work and the unexpected gift of connection that Emma represented? Before he could ponder too much, another figure caught his eye at the end of the hallway. A woman was watching him intensely, her expression eager yet cautious, someone from his past that he never expected to see again. Tom's heart raced. Who was she and what did her appearance mean for him, Emma, and the journey they had just begun? Tom's breath hitched as he processed the silhouette of the woman at the end of the hall. Her dark hair fell in loose waves around her shoulders, framing a face that was both familiar and foreign after so many years. Sarah. His heart raced with surprise, memories flooding back from a time when everything felt simpler, before corporate life had consumed him. Mr. Bennett, Emma interrupted, tugging at his sleeve. Who is that lady? He hesitated. His past felt like a different world entirely. She's someone I used to know. Is she your friend? Emma asked innocently, her wide eyes searching his face. Tom couldn't muster a response. Friend? That was a stretch for someone he hadn't spoken to in years. Before he could think of a suitable reply, Sarah moved toward him, her expression softening. Tom, she said, her voice both calm and tentative. I heard about the incident. Are you okay? Yeah, he started, but the sound of his own voice felt hollow. He glanced at Emma, who was observing the encounter with a mix of curiosity and concern. You don't look fine, Sarah continued, her gaze unwavering. You need to take it easy, especially with everything that's happening at work. Thanks. I will, he replied, though it felt less convincing each time he spoke. The memories of late nights, deadlines, and the pressure of corporate expectations washed over him like a tidal wave. Suddenly, he didn't want to talk about work. Not with her, not now. Martin's words echoed in his mind, replaying like an unwanted tape. You have a career at stake. Maybe this moment with Sarah is precisely what he needed to confront that tension, but where would it lead him? Emma shuffled between them, breaking the thick atmosphere. Hi. I'm Emma. I helped Mr. Bennett when he fainted. Sarah knelt to Emma's level, a broad smile breaking through her concern. You did? That's incredible. You must be so brave. Thank you. Emma beamed at the praise. Mr. Bennett says I'm a little dynamo, but I just want to be a superhero. Tom couldn't help but chuckle softly. Emma's view of heroism was refreshing. The tension between him and Sarah lingered, unsaid words hanging in the air. I didn't expect to see you here, he admitted, feeling awkward but oddly relieved that she had shown up. I didn't expect it either, she replied, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. But I came to support someone who mattered to me. And I'm glad I did. Tom felt something shift within him, an urgency he couldn't ignore. You still care? He asked, surprised by the vulnerability creeping into his tone. "We all have burdens we carry, Tom," she replied gently. "But I still believe in moments like the one you shared with Emma. Those are the things that remind us why we fight our battles." Suddenly, that weight he'd been feeling began to lift, clarity emerging amidst the chaos. It wasn't all just about career and success, it was about connection, trust, and moments that mattered. Before he could respond, a loud beeping interrupted them. The nurse returned, directing Sarah to fill out some paperwork, a gentle nudge that interrupted their conversation. Tom turned to Emma, who pulled on his sleeve again. "I think she's important to you, Mr. Bennett. You seem happy kind of." He felt a warmth wash over him. "Maybe she is," he said softly, the realization blooming in his heart. "But what happens next?" Emma asked, her gaze serious. Tom looked back at Sarah, who was struggling with the forms, and realized it was time to embrace whatever was unfolding. "Let us find out together," he replied, a new determination filling him as he stepped forward. As they walked together down the hallway, he felt the excitement of possibility. What connections could unfold in this moment? And how would he define his path moving forward? In the distance, whispers of laughter echoed from a pediatric ward, punctuated by the bright sounds of joy. He could feel the bubbling hope something powerful was just around the corner. But was he ready to open that door? Sarah finished her paperwork and looked up, her eyes catching Tom's again. There was a moment, a spark, where past feelings mingled with the present confusion. That same warmth spread through him. He felt something shift inside, like a puzzle piece falling into place after years of waiting. "It's nice to see you," he said, his voice steadier now. "I could say the same," Sarah replied, her smile genuine. "Life has a funny way of bringing us back, doesn't it?" Emma tugged on Tom's sleeve again. "Can we get ice cream now?" Her little face was all hope and innocence, and it made Tom laugh again. "Why not?" he said, realizing he wanted to seize the day and transform this strange encounter into a cherished memory. "How about we invite Ms. Sarah to join us?" Sarah looked pleasantly surprised, her expression shifting from surprise to something softer, almost like gratitude. "I'd love that." As they exited the hospital, the crisp air hit him like a refreshing splash of cold water. It cleared his mind and added an extra bounce in his step. Emma led the way, enthusiasm painting her every moment. He stole glances at Sarah, feeling the strains of anxiety melting into excitement. "So, what's your superhero power, Sarah?" Emma asked as they strolled down the street, her little arms swinging with eagerness. Sarah chuckled, a melodic sound that danced in the air. "I think my power is helping people, usually through my work as a nurse. Caring for others brings me joy." "That's cool." "Mr. Bennett helps people too," Emma chimed in, proud that she was bringing everyone together. Tom felt his cheeks warm, both flattered and embarrassed by Emma's words. "I try to help where I can." "And how's it going lately?" Sarah asked, her gaze probing yet gentle. He hesitated, unsure whether to dive into his corporate life or maintain the lightness this moment provided. Unfolding layers of his existence felt daunting, but it also felt right, an opportunity to share rather than hide. "Honestly, I'm at a crossroads," he admitted, keenly aware of the vulnerability in his voice. "I've lost sight of what matters." "Maybe reconnecting with old friends is part of that journey," she said, her eyes locking onto his, filled with understanding. Tom frowned slightly, thinking of the years that had blurred their once simple friendship. "I'd like that if you're open to it." Their shared gaze told him what was unsaid. There was room for healing, for rediscovery. As they reached the ice cream parlor, the cheerful bells chiming as they entered felt like a celebration. The vibrant colors of the ice cream jars were a feast for the eyes. "What flavor do you want, Emma?" Tom asked, looking down at her. "Cotton candy," she squealed. "Sounds delicious," he said, feeling lightness in his heart. Sarah smiled and asked, "What about you, Tom?" "Chocolate," always. He flashed a smirk, feeling more like himself than he had in ages. After they ordered, they found a cozy corner table. Emma excitedly recounted her day at school, her wide eyes sparkling with laughter. Tom and Sarah exchanged glances, both feeling the shift in the air. "We've both changed, haven't we?" Tom asked, curiosity lingering in his voice. "Absolutely," Sarah replied. "But isn't that the beauty of life? We grow, we adapt, and sometimes we reconnect," Tom added, his pulse quickening. The moment felt significant, filled with potential. But then, as if to remind him of the weight he still carried, the phone in Tom's pocket buzzed urgently. He fished it out and saw Martin's name flashing across the screen. "Ugh, it's work. Sorry." He hesitated but knew he couldn't ignore it. "I should probably take this." "Go ahead," Sarah encouraged, but her tone held a hint of worry. As he stepped outside to take the call, he looked back through the window. Sarah and Emma, laughing together, seemed like a scene from a painting, a moment frozen in time that he wanted to capture forever. What was this new chapter of his life about to reveal? His heart raced again as he took a deep breath, answering the call. And just as he felt ready to confront his career, a sudden thought jolted through him. Was he truly ready for the choices ahead, especially when his heart pulled him in a direction he hadn't expected? The wind picked up as he listened, and every breath now seemed heavy with all the possibilities that lay before him. Tom stepped outside, the cool breeze brushing against his skin, calming the anxious thoughts swirling in his mind. He stared at his phone as Martin's voice crackled over the line, demanding his attention. "Tom. We need you back in the office. The board is expecting the final proposal on Monday." His heart sank. Work. The place that had once been a source of pride now loomed over him like a dark cloud. "I don't know, Martin. I might need more time. Things have changed." "Changed how?" Martin's impatience crackled through the phone. "You know the company can't wait around while you what? Play hooky?" Tom took a deep breath, glancing back through the window at Sarah and Emma, still engrossed in their animated chatter. "It's not playing hooky. I just need to get my priorities straight." There was a pause on the other end, and for a brief moment, Tom thought Martin might understand. But then came the sharp retort, "You're a CEO, Tom. It's time to decide if you're in or out." Frustration bubbled within him. The way Martin dismissed everything else, the life he'd just glimpsed with Sarah and Emma, made him want to scream. "I need to rethink things." "I rethink?" Martin interrupted. "Rethink means hesitation. I can't have you hesitating. If you're not on board, I'll need to find someone who can take your place." The weight of those words sunk in heavy. Was this what he wanted? Was he going to let fear dictate his choices? Suddenly, he heard a clatter, a commotion coming from down the street. Looking up, Tom noticed an unsteady figure stumbling on the sidewalk. A man had fainted, collapsing next to his sleek car parked nearby. Instinct kicked in. He quickly ended the call and rushed toward the commotion. As he reached the scene, a small crowd had gathered, but it was Emma who had darted ahead, her little face set with determination. "Move back," she announced. "I can help." "Emma, wait," Tom called, but it was too late. She was already kneeling beside the man, trying to wake him. "Sir?" she said, shaking his shoulder gently. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine," the man mumbled, clearly disoriented. Sweat glistened on his brow, and he struggled to sit up. Tom couldn't help but feel a rush of pride watching his daughter. "Emma, let him breathe. Someone call for an ambulance." Just then, Sarah appeared beside him, her face steady and calm. "I'm a nurse, let me take a look." Tom stepped back, partially to let Sarah take charge and partly to gather his swirling thoughts. Watching her fall into her rhythm, confident and capable, lights flickered in his mind, illuminating memories of the woman he once knew. How many times had he let doubt erode what was right in front of him? "What's your name?" Sarah asked the man, her voice a perfect balance of authority and kindness. "Peter," he breathed, clearly still shaken. Tom could feel the warmth of community, of connection, growing around them. "All right, Peter. Just relax. We got you," Sarah assured, her hands steady as she checked his vitals. As he stood there, he realized that the true crossroads he faced wasn't just career-related. It was about being present, about stepping into moments that truly mattered. He glanced at Emma, who now held Peter's hand, speaking softly to him, and his heart swelled. Maybe, just maybe, he could redefine what it meant to be a leader, not just in business, but in life. What if these moments with Sarah and Emma were the key to unlocking the man he wanted to be? Just when he thought clarity was at hand, a thought struck him hard. Could he truly have both his job and the life he longed for? The sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder, each note resonating like a call to action. Time was ticking. His heart raced again, filled with urgency and something new hope. The tension between his old life and this unexpected opportunity simmered beneath the surface. What would his next move be as he witnessed something deeper unfolding before him? Tom could feel the warmth of the crowd, but his eyes were glued to Sarah. With every moment, he saw the old spark in her passion shining through even in the middle of a crisis. It reminded him of the early days, of the dreams they built together, before work consumed him. "Dad, is he going to be okay?" Emma's soft voice broke through his thoughts. She looked at him, her eyes wide with concern. Her innocence tugged at his heartstrings, emphasizing just how important this moment was. "Yeah, sweetheart, he's in good hands," he reassured her, though doubt lingered in the back of his mind. What if he wasn't okay? What if everything kept spiraling downward? As the sirens drew closer, Sarah continued to calm Peter with her gentle demeanor. "Just breathe, Peter. The ambulance will be here soon." Her soothing presence seemed to ease not only Peter's fear but also Tom's rising anxiety. He admired her bravery. This wasn't the woman he remembered from board meetings or corporate negotiations. This was a woman who chose compassion over chaos. What had he missed while he chased financial successes? Tom felt tired physically and mentally as he replayed their past. Was it too late to rediscover what mattered? Was it too late to be a father, a husband, a partner? Emma returned to his side, holding his hand tightly. "I want to help, Dad. Can we do something?" Tom searched her eyes, wanting to say yes, wanting to channel their thoughts toward action. "We can pray for him." The words felt so small yet powerful. Emma nodded, her brow furrowing slightly as she began her whispered prayer. It was beautiful, a mix of childhood earnestness and unwavering faith. Every word felt like a lifeline, connecting them all even in their distress. Taken by the moment, Tom instinctively felt his eyes welling with tears. What was he waiting for? Every day he chose to stay away from what was real, to drown in meetings and financial drafts. He was missing out on the lives of the people he loved. Before he could spiral into guilt, he noticed two paramedics coming through the crowd, equipment in hand. Their presence pulled him back into the present, away from his drifting thoughts. "Let us through, please. Make way." They moved efficiently, working as a well-oiled machine. Tom watched Sarah step back, allowing them to take over, her expression still calm but with a hint of anxiety creeping onto her face. He caught her eyes again, and an unspoken connection ignited between them. Suddenly, he felt the urgency of his own decisions, of what he wanted moving forward. As Peter was loaded into the ambulance, Tom could feel the weight of his old life pressing down again. He needed to make a decision. He turned to Emma, her tiny hand in his, and gazed at Sarah, who was now gathering her things, steadfast yet tender. "Can I have both?" he whispered under his breath, unsure if he was speaking to the universe or himself. Just then, the ambulance doors closed, pulling Tom's attention back. He wanted to reach out, to grasp what was slipping away. "Dad?" Emma's voice broke through, pulling him back from his thoughts. He knelt down to look her in the eyes, their faces inches apart. "Yeah? Can we go see him at the hospital? I want to give him a card." In that moment, a spark ignited deep within him. He nodded, feeling a rush of clarity wash over him. For once, it felt like the choices he was about to make mattered beyond just work spreadsheets or bottom lines. Here stood his daughter, full of compassion, ready to be a part of something meaningful. "Absolutely, Emma. Let's do it." With newfound resolve, Tom stood up, glancing at Sarah as she joined them. Their eyes locked for a moment, sharing a flicker of understanding. He could see a possibility in her expression. As they stepped away from the crowd, he noticed a group of people talking amongst themselves, and the idea bubbled inside him: what if he could inspire others, too? What if this moment could lead to something bigger, more profound? But as hope began to swell within him, another reality loomed. How would Martin react to his decision? Would he have the strength to forge a new path? Deep within, he felt the stir of both fear and excitement. The adventure was only beginning. Could he truly face the unknown, or would he let fear hold him back one more time? As they walked toward the hospital, Tom's heart pounded with both fear and excitement. With Emma's hand wrapped tightly in his, he couldn't help but glance furtively at Sarah, who was quietly contemplating the ripple effect of the moment they just lived through together. Every step felt laden with the weight of possibility. "I can't believe you're coming with us," Emma chirped, her childlike enthusiasm bubbling over. "You're like my superhero friend now, Miss Sarah." They shared a laugh, and Tom could feel the tension of earlier moments loosening. Sarah shot him a glance, her eyes sparkling with warmth as she replied, "Only if you wear a cape, Emma." As they approached the hospital entrance, Tom felt a shift inside him. No longer did his career define who he was, it was moments like these that solidified that reality. Emma's laughter echoed through the hallway like a sweet song, drowning out the sterile sounds of machines and distant chatter. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with determination as staff hurried past them, but here in this newfound space, the connection between them felt palpable. The nurse welcomed them, guiding them towards Peter's room. "He's doing much better. Just a minor scare," she reassured, projecting a sense of stability. "Can we see him?" Emma asked, her excitement palpable. "Absolutely. Just keep it low-key, and he'll appreciate the support," the nurse replied, smiling down at the little girl whose bravery had turned a chaotic moment into an opportunity for kindness. As they entered Peter's room, Tom's heart swelled. The man lay in a hospital bed, and drip going into his arm. He looked up, surprised to see them. "You?" Peter said, his eyes widening before a flicker of recognition crossed his face. "You were there." Emma hopped up next to his bed, her tiny figure vibrant against the dull backdrop. "You're going to be okay now," she declared, her voice infused with certainty. "We brought you a card." She pulled out the colorful picture she'd drawn, with scribbled messages of encouragement and a big heart in the middle. Peter's face softened, a smile breaking through. "Wow, thank you. This is the best thing I've seen all day," Tom observed quietly, pride swelling within him. Here was Emma, so young, yet so intuitive about what truly mattered. In that moment, something clicked. "Peter," he began, clearing his throat to get the attention of the room, "how are you feeling about things now?" "I'm grateful," Peter replied, glancing at Emma. "But it makes one think. Life is fragile." A heavy silence settled, threading through Tom and the others. They were grounding themselves in the essence of life, starkly aware of the simplicity and beauty of connecting with each other. Sarah stepped forward, nodding along. "You're right. It can turn in a moment. We need to cherish every good gesture, every laugh, and every chance to help one another." Tom felt a stir of resolve in the air. It wasn't just a moment, but a jumping-off point. I want to help people too, Tom said, looking at both Emma and Peter, a rush of conviction lighting his voice. Not just through work, but in life. Let us support one another, he nodded to them. And let us turn this into something bigger. What do you mean? Emma asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. I want to create a foundation, he said, his voice infused with newfound courage. A way to lift people up. To connect the community. Even kids like me? Emma's voice squeaked with hope. Especially kids like you, Tom replied, kneeling down to her level. You remind me that helping is what truly counts. Peter breathed deeply, the weight of unexpected friendship forging a bond. Count me in. This could change more lives than you realize. As they stood in the hospital room, a circle of shared hope and purpose formed around them. They were a tapestry woven from the threads of courage, compassion, and resilience. Tom felt like a new man. The burdens of aside, hope fluttered. They spent the next few hours laughing, sharing stories, and weaving dreams together. Sarah's eyes twinkled with admiration as she listened to Emma's wild ideas about what they could accomplish. It's time I redefine my story too, Tom finally admitted to them all. No more pretending what I want to be. I'm ready to step into the man I want to be. As the sun began to set, bathing the hospital in a warm glow, Tom leaned down, planting a kiss on Emma's forehead. And it all began with you, he whispered, his heart full of gratitude for his little girl and this unexpected journey they were undertaking together. Let us go gather a team. Emma exclaimed, bouncing on her heels. We'll need a real superhero squad. Let us do it. Tom replied, determination etched across his features. Together, united in this transformative moment, they stepped out into the world with their hearts wide open. Real change was just beginning, and it was all thanks to a little girl who dared to drive forward into the unknown. In that heartbeat of shared understanding, a powerful lesson glimmered bright as they ventured into their future. And Tom knew in every fiber of his being, this time, he wouldn't turn back. You need to subscribe now to catch our journey as it unfolds. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us reach more hearts. Comment your thoughts on this transformative story and how it moved you. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring journey. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.